The strategic use of silence is one of the most powerful yet underutilized techniques in investigative interviewing. Rather than asking more questions, skilled investigators sometimes allow silence to do the work. A well-timed pause encourages the interviewee to continue speaking, elaborate on previous answers, or recall additional details without being prompted. Instead of creating awkwardness, purposeful silence shifts the conversational responsibility back to the interviewee, often resulting in richer and more spontaneous disclosures. This technique is effective because silence creates a natural psychological tension. Most people are uncomfortable with prolonged pauses during a conversation and instinctively feel the need to fill the silence. Rather than immediately asking another question, the investigator simply waits patiently after the interviewee finishes speaking. This silent pause often communicates that the answer may be incomplete, encouraging the interviewee to continue talking, clarify a point, or volunteer information they had not initially intended to share. Silence also serves an important cognitive purpose. Recalling past events requires mental effort, particularly when the events are complex or emotionally significant. A witness may pause because they are searching their memory, organizing their thoughts, or deciding how best to explain what happened. If the investigator interrupts too quickly, they may inadvertently cut off this natural retrieval process and lose valuable information. Allowing a few moments of silence gives the interviewee time to think and often results in a more complete and accurate account. Strategic silence is especially useful when interviewing reluctant or hesitant witnesses. Individuals who initially provide brief or vague answers frequently expand on their responses if the investigator remains patient instead of immediately asking another question. Likewise, silence can be effective when interviewing confident or deceptive individuals. People attempting to control the interview often expect the investigator to drive the conversation. When that does not happen, they may continue talking to fill the void, increasing the likelihood of revealing inconsistencies, volunteering unnecessary details, or contradicting earlier statements. Silence should always be accompanied by attentive, nonverbal listening. Maintaining appropriate eye contact, nodding occasionally, or using minimal encouragers such as, "I see," or "go on," reassures the interviewee that the investigator is engaged without interrupting their thought process. These subtle behaviors reinforce that the investigator is listening carefully and is prepared to hear more, rather than rushing to the next question. The technique also integrates naturally with other investigative interviewing methods. In cognitive interviewing, pauses allow witnesses time to mentally reconstruct events and retrieve memories through different cognitive pathways. Within the broader framework of active listening, silence demonstrates patience, respect, and genuine interest in the interviewee's account. It also provides investigators with valuable opportunities to organize their thoughts or complete their notes without disrupting the flow of the interview. Although silence is a highly effective tool, it should be used deliberately, rather than excessively. Long periods of silence that appear awkward or intimidating may increase anxiety or hinder communication. The objective is not to pressure the interviewee, but to provide them with sufficient space to think and speak freely. When used with patience and good judgment, strategic silence often produces more valuable information than asking another question, making it an essential skill for every workplace investigator.